him play super consistently with Villain EB on the roster. Obviously has been trading maps. It's great to see a full series dedicated to Kaiser. So now O2 going to be on the offense. Probably going to do a little bit of scouting, I imagine. They're going to be rolling out on 3-3. They are. Pelicans coming back to the Brigida. MVP here on defense. Running the mirror, but with Finn on the Ana instead, which is something we've seen more and more as we've evolved in this meta, is a lot more Ana for defense in particular.
I think it's just hedging your bets against heavy DPS setups where you'd rather have the Ana as insurance against the DPS setups, even if it makes you a little bit weaker to straight 3-3. It's just what teams have been going to here is O2 Blast. They don't waste any time. They get up the stairs. There's no crazy space scamping or anything like that. No, they just go straight up. And MVP having to cede a lot of ground here.
Having to cede a lot of ground, and this is sort of where the Ana, you're sort of at a trade disadvantage because you don't have the better shield presence. You don't have the better poke. The thing is, you're just trying to build Nano very, very fast and out-sustain and build the Nano.
I mean, when you have to be looking here for Finn is, can he land a good Bionade? Can he get one past Krong to set up a dive here for MVP? MVP gonna rotate back around. Losing a little bit in the poke war right now. Jasper getting pretty low. Nice boop on the So What. Mandu setting up, and So What can't get away. He's too out of position. And O2 Blast gonna use that displacement to get point A.
Great boop from Mandu there. Just removing So What from his team, allowing them to clean it up. And you see now, Finn, he'll have Nano for the next fight. MVP will have the Nano boost that they need, but when you're playing this long, drawn-out neutral game where neither team really has the ults to begin with, you're hedging your bets as the Ana team, as someone that is running Ana, to build Nano boost first. And they did not.
Now, I think they'll keep Finn for the Nano for this fight, but if they win this fight, if they get to see extra time here, they're going to be swapping off. But they open up here at the Grav early, forcing out the Transcends from Youngbung. The other side, they're going to move in. Both teams using Rally. O2 dropping on down, taking the fight to MVP. MVP trying to back away. So What under very heavy pressure right now. They're trying to chase it on down. Proper, meanwhile, off on the flank. Graviton could be invested here by O2. And you look to MVP. They don't have a Transcends. They have to make the most of it with a Nano to pressure on the other side. So What? It'll make some space, though. Drops a Shatter, knocks down 2. O2 Blast had a bit of trouble here off of that, but they respond and then some. So What? Barely saved by Froppy's Bear on the other side. Kaiser gonna drop the Shatter, gets nothing. The Shatter hitting no one for MVP, but they're not out of the woods here yet. Still a lot of pressure in from O2 Blast. Finn getting close to another Nano, but they get Kaiser against the side. They take him on out. And MVP likely now gonna take this fight. They lose Valentine though. O2 still desperately trying to fight it on in. Proper taking the Stews on the other side. It's a nice sleep by Finn. He's getting best Nano. They want to end this here and now. So What? Dropping the Shatter. They lose Finn, but it's still so much damage that O2 might have to back out.
Yeah, missing there entirely there. There was nothing there in the fight. They didn't have the fault they needed. You see right now the grab is coming out. They're still going to be trying to clean up. MVP trying to get these frags, trying to get the returns. Their spawns are there, and they will be back, and they will survive that fight.
Fully expect Finn to swap here. I think now that they're seeing O2 is committing to 3-3, Finn likely at 12% does have to wait for a Nano. Should be going over the Zen, and there it is.
See, now they're just going to be setting back up. Getting ready for the next defense here. And I think when we look at that fight, it was just a lack of focus fire for O2 there. Once again, even with the grab coming out, they couldn't get the frags. The Nano boost allowing So What to stay alive for so long, even though he didn't get a lot of value from Shatter.
Jasper pretty low here to start things out. Froppy from the back looking for a boop off, decides not to go for it. MVP gonna rotate back around. So What holding on to the Shatter and decides to just drop it. Putting 2 to the ground. Mandu in particular in a rough spot. Not gonna be finished off though. O2 able to shrug it off. Krong lays in the self-destruct back on the other side. MVP gonna shrug it off with the barrier. And now you see Kaiser. He drops a Shatter and they'll fight. Knocks down 3. It's a really nice Shatter. In fact, gives up his life for it, but it might have done enough damage here for O2 Blast.
And the trance coming a little late as well. As you see, the point is still being broken down. They are going to be able to clean up Pelican, but the frags still falling the way of O2. Filling on point. This should be proper going down very soon. Rookie down.
O2's lost people in the process here, though. MVP does have spawn advantage, and I wonder if enough damage was done by the defense to get back in. The Graviton, though, gonna lead the Jasper falling. O2 making this more and more solid. They're gonna get their own respawns in. So What's out of the fight, and now this is all but certainly gonna be O2's point. And there it is.
And there it is, he says. Like a catchphrase we've heard more and more. And there it is.
Really, Jeff Goldblum is timeless. Jurassic Park still affecting us to this day. Life finds a way.
Life finds a way. And I think that O2 Blast, so far they've been finding a lot better value once again from as the series went on. As you see that when they trade ults, they're able to keep Youngblood protected, they're able to keep him alive, they're able to keep Proper up. And that's what's so important there for these post fights, is that their focus fire is remaining strong because they're not losing any of their key members.
And in the end here for O2 Blast, it's not a bad time, where it felt like it was longer than it really was, but 3 minutes, 33 seconds left on the clock. This makes things challenging for MVP, where MVP, you know, it's possible to set a quicker time, but they're going to have to be fairly dominant on point A. They can't get delayed there really much at all, and they only have a buffer of losing maybe 1 to 2 fights on point B to match this time. So O2 in a very good spot, of course. If they win here, they win the series, but MVP, they're not really worried about the series. They just need a map.
Just need the map. And it's all they need too, which is why MVP have to be feeling frustrated, because despite having a relatively okay second hold after a relatively fast first, still a lot of time for O2 on this bank. 3 minutes 33. MVP gonna have to be looking to break this very quickly. I wouldn't be surprised to see him run the Sombra here again, though they didn't have much success on King's Row. Though I think Horizon Lunar Colony gives you a lot better options due to the verticality.
Yeah, I think they'll probably route the Sombra. I don't think they're going to swap. I think they're going to see Myungbong on the Zenyatta and go, we're actually totally okay with this. But Rookie thus far has not been the quickest Sombra at building EMPs relative to some of the other Sombras and Contenders like Edison or like Doha. So it's not the best situation for MVP.
No, it definitely is not. You see O2 looking to get these early, just trying to trade out poke. Trying to just deny Rookie as well the poke of his own. And MVP are moving into the lower, trying to set up Rookie, trying to set up those angles. Right, they're not committing to the point. You see, they're just shooting. They're just shooting O2. They're not even moving aggressively. As now they finally take a rotate. They do the rotation here on the right.
And look at what they've done here, where I'd say fast Sombra EMP building is getting the EMP in about a minute. We're about a minute through, and Rookie is barely at 50%. This is very good pressure onto Sombra Harass from O2 while holding their ground, while keeping MVP back. From just playing the time game here from O2, this has been solid so far. And now they're going to decide to move forward, try to get a team fight win. They put him into a corner, but MVP, they fight back. They end up losing 2 as O2 dives in, and MVP, this is really good for them because not only are they likely to take the point now, but they're going to have the EMP for point B.
Not having to invest that EMP is so crucial there for the first fight. The rotation so strong for them, removing Kaiser early, cashing those frags for O2 Blast, and just like you talked about, EMP will be up. Finn will have Transcendence. Valentine will also even be able to have the rally. They have so much to say. They have the combo for the EMP, for the Shatter. This is great for MVP.
And we want to talk about setting a quick time. This would be a much quicker time bank, but everything falls off the rails here if this fight doesn't go well for them. O2 gonna have a decent amount of reserve. They have no support ults right now, so this is actually the prime time for a good EMP engage.
This is prime time, but you see how O2 are holding? So they're trying to control the right flank, they're trying to control the high ground, be relatively split when possible. Their back line is a little bit further away from their front line.
They look for the early hack, and Rookie, almost falls, has to drop the EMP under duress. Gives his life for it. He didn't have time to look at it a whole lot, and this just goes completely awry as O2 lands the grab fully on the MVP. That was a very tough fight.
That is a very tough fight. Losing the EMP means that is your most obvious win condition gone. So there's not going to be a snowball. They still have plenty of time on the board to make it work. MVP can sit there. They can poke. They continue to build. They have 5 ults. We're also able to get the grab out of proper. So nothing's set in stone by any means for MVP. In fact, they could commit and just remove support ults right now with Jasper's grab and then just continue to build their EMP.
Well, MVP is immediately going to head back on in. But, the thing about the last fight there, too, is that Rookie went for the hack to begin with. I feel like he just should have just EMP'd.
I agree. I don't know why he was looking. I think they were trying to get the most value possible, set up the hack, set up the Shatter first before having to use EMP. But if you just set it up first, you're fine.
Yeah, I think they outthought themselves here, and now MVP taking a slower setup. Rookie's built up 50% to an EMP, but again, they don't really want to engage until then. I think they're just hoping to get some ults out of O2 Blast here. And O2 Blast, I mean, they do use the rally, but they're smart enough to not dive into the smaller room, and they're just going to back out.
And they just run away from the rally, set it up. O2 Blast gonna have to return as MVP. They're 80% to the EMP. They're still waiting for this combo. You see Valentine, but the Shatter is so big for Kaiser.
It's a very nice shatter from Kaiser. Even force out the beat from MVP, but they're down Rookie. So this is really bad for MVP. Not only going to lose the fight, but they don't even have Rookie building EMP towards the latter end. Even though he should be able to get it early in the next fight, it's just that extra little bit of salt in the wound as O2 Blast, I like how they're playing here. They're just playing the slower and just playing the drain time.
They'll definitely have the EMP for the next fight, but they invested 2 supportals. They invested Valentine's Rally, they invested Beat. They won't have either of them now for this upcoming fight, which is huge. And you see now that Millmonks has made the change onto Ana as well, it's going to be very important here that they need something to sustain, to out-sustain the Ana pick.
MVP looks for the early grab here. They try and get Kaiser out. They force out some ults on O2 Blast. Bomb comes in to cover Kaiser, but Kaiser still in it. He's just going to casually back on out. Rookie says, now it's time. Drops TP, but as it's going on, Someone has slept. Someone has slept as they try and go in for the MP engage. They lose a huge source of damage. They can't go for the shatter. What a fantastic sleep coming out from Youngbong.
Youngbong hitting a great sleep there, and not only was the sleep perfect, but in return, they also lost Rookie for the cleanup, and he only caught 2 with it anyways. He only caught 2 members. And then there was really just, they didn't get the Lucio either, so Mondu's beat was still able to keep alive through it. It was just wasn't the best EMP regardless of the sleep.
It was a tough area where Rookie's EMPs, I mean, they've been basically suicide missions where he goes on the EMP knowing that he's going to die in the Sombra. He uses the translocate over the top, doesn't leave himself a way out where it's reliable to get a good EMP, but it also helps when your Sombra lives.
It's very, very important there. As if
What a sleep.
Onto the point. The sleep is out again onto Rookie.
And now he'll just got to rotate over. I think Rookie's able to get out of it. Graviton invested Kaiser. A little bit on the back foot. 0-2, they're going to lose Pelican, so this has been a bit mid for the one. Again, Kaiser just turns the corner, drops the shatter, knocks down one. MVP, though, still in it. They use the Graviton to maintain control. 0-2 Blast, of course, was wounded even before the shatter. And MVP now on their way to taking point B. Pretty decisive amount here on the point. It's going to be hard for 0-2 Blast to pull this back as Pelican just gets bopped.
Pelican, he pops the rally, falls over on the point. You see Kaiser charging in, the EMP out again. Catching Kaiser, but Krong's on point, able to drop the bomb, but it should still just be Finn. But Finn does die, but it should still be the point flip.
Still a winnable map here for MVP. They do have lesser time, which means they're going to be attacking again in short order. Don't quite know what they're going to have to beat on the other side. But, man, you talk about lost opportunities there and think about how that could have been better for MVP. I'm just going to eternally go back to the area where 0-2 Blast was about halfway on both support ults. The perfect situation for an EMP. And Rookie is sitting there, you know, as you said, trying to extract max value by hacking before EMP when they could have just EMP'd, taken down one, and that likely would have been enough.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where you don't have to get max value because you've snowballed, you've saved the EMP. You should know that if you just hit 1 to 2 people, it guarantees the fight win. And they were trying to extract that max value. Sometimes you don't have to. Sometimes, especially on snowball pushes, you really don't have to.
I think the only thing that comes to mind there is that it's also possible that when you look at the bigger scope of things, 0-2 is a little bit slower than normal in building support ults. So maybe MVP gave them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they thought that Barrier and Transcendence were in play, and there was a failure of ult tracking there, where that's why Rookie was trying to go for the extra hack, right? Where if in their comms are saying, well, they have these ults, if you believe they do, it's as good as them actually having them when it comes to your shot calling. So maybe that's why MVP played that the way they did, is that their ult tracking was just a little bit off.
MVP going to be in the offense here again. Rookie going to be on the Zarya this time. No Sombra here. Full 3-3 for 0-2 Blast, running 2-3 as well, but Youngbong is going to be on the Ana. Looks like MVP going to be taking this left flank, or this right flank, I guess.
Youngbong waiting on here, looking for the perfect angle to just thread a Bionade in. Of course, the rest of 0-2 Blast would be really diving in over. Now, MVP is, oh, what a nade again. Gonna be hitting 3, and, well, let's fall through. Required.
And that's something Jasper has to be watching. That's something Jasper has to be watching, CP. Especially if you don't see the Ana up on the high ground, you're expecting the rotation to come out. You're expecting the nade to be used aggressively there with the Ana with the first fight. As a stagger, the brutal stagger, we're probably going to see a charge from Kaiser.
Up. He's measuring up. He's ready.
He's ready, but are they going to do it?
Oh,
no, I don't think they're just going to wait till the last second. They're waiting till the last second to set it up.
That just gave me real WWE vibes where guys like staggering to get up off the mat and then just gets hit by the finisher move at the very end. That was Kaiser there.
And look at Kaiser's ult, by the way, and Myungbong's ult. Getting close to the Nano already off that huge nade, and Kaiser already has Shatter. That's huge. This is a huge fight because if MVP are not fast here, I think even if they are fast, this is realistically last fight.
Well, they're going to go up. Bionade from downtown. Not going to hit anything, so MVP at least safe from that. Kaiser under pretty heavy pressure. They're looking for the shield. Discord or bottom still. Going to find time to drop the Shatter in the back. Puts Jasper on the ground. And here comes the Nano. Kaiser reinvigorated, chasing it down, and we go into space.
All right, this did break down fast enough that there will be another fight for MVP. But the question is they're going to have to be very weird about who touches. They'll be able to come back, but they have to have people dedicated touching here. I mean, maybe Froppy or Jasper are the most likely candidates. They're going to have to invest the bubble for it because there's only 10 seconds left on the clock.
Last opportunity here for MVP to make this anything but a draw. Graviton can be messy early, OWC Blast. They use it to take down So What. They do have Lucio over until point. Froppy trying to at least get one tick. Keep alive here MVP's hopes. Does buy time and force OWC Blast to go back. There's a chance, perhaps. As I said, Rookie gonna invest the Graviton, pulls into Hammond gonna dive in. Answered by the beat of OWC Blast, so they're not feeling too wounded here just yet. Fight taking place back over onto the point, but you're gonna see Valentine Rookie out of the fight and OWC off the final cleanup. That's gonna be it.
Yeah. Their health is just so low, ZP. That's the problem is when I talked about, sure, they had another chance to come back in, but it was realistically last fight, and I meant that scenario right there. They had to commit Froppy to the point. The grab was able to come out early, get that early frag out of So What as well. They were down So What the entire time. They weren't going to have a Shatter. They were staggering into point even though they were able to touch. They couldn't follow up. They didn't have the Rhine shield. So when you're looking at a scenario like that, MVP just could not find their opening. They could not deny the value that Myungbong was getting either on Ana.
I mean, you think about how he started that out, right? Just the biggest value Bionade you could ever imagine, where you kind of look at it, the result was inevitable. It's like, yeah, everyone's going to fall off of this because you have no healing while the other team does in return. And this is pretty grim here for MVP. I'd have to go back and look at, but I think a draw does not do enough for them here. So they had 4. So now they're down to 1. WGS won the head-to-head, so a draw, very much so, it would still be WGS. So this is pretty tough for MVP.
This map literally doesn't matter if they draw or not for the most part, because they literally still must get a map win. They must get a map win.
And that means that they're going to have to do it at the very end. Now, you know, we didn't really mention it because we're focused on the MVP story, but it also means here that this is OWC Blast series win. They'll finish out the series with the series win. But the more interesting story, because we knew OWC was in it, is does MVP make playoffs? And right now, it's looking like no.
It's looking very likely, very, very likely that MVP at this point might not make playoffs. See OWC Blast rotating here, going for the right flank, and look for this high ground contest. Probably going to actually look to fake it out. You see them stalling on the stairs. They're playing the mind games, and they double fake actually now coming up the stairs.
Well, it's gotten the high ground. OWC Blast able to get through pretty quickly. And oh, off the rotation, they find Finn. Man advantage here, the OWC, and MVP might as well stick a fork in them here because this one is about to be done. You gotta get the clean up here on the Jasper. And that's gonna be OWC Blast, making this not a draw, but a clean 3-0. And of course, that's a series win even before this final attack. And MVP down to 1 final map. Again, they started out the day with 4 chances. Now they're down to 1.
Been down to 1 chance. A great rotation there from OWC. OWC so far have been playing the mind games very, very well. We saw a double fake there on the stairs, which sort of allowed for the rotation to be successful and catch Finn. And then just clean up from there because, you know, having your Zen in the neutral fight where there are no ults for either team, the Discord, the healing, so important. So 1 map left for MVP. For Team MVP, they need to get this final map of the series. If they want to make playoffs, if they lose, WGS is in, and WGS's old teammates now on OWC Blast have secured their spot for them potentially.
Really funny to see how this is all panned out. But you know what, MVP, they have 1 final shot left. It might be a 3-0, but the 4th map, it matters very much so. We'll be back in just a few minutes to see how that pans out. So O2 Blast might have won the series here, but we still have intrigue left as we go into our final map here of the series. As MVP tries to keep their hopes and dreams alive. WGS, who might have started the day observing, feeling dejected, going, there's no way, now should be on the edge of their seats because the season is going to be decided for them here. They might not be in control of it, but MVP certainly is. And we'll see if MVP can get that one map win to make it into playoffs, or will they complete the slide off into seat number 7 and thus being out of contention entirely? We're going to find out in just a few moments here.
And I think something to note is that, not only is it funny that WGS was relying on their old teammates now in O2 Blast to get them back into playoffs, but most importantly, it's Myungbong, who's been just such an incredible impact factor. And so far throughout this series, we've touched about him before for O2 Blast with this new trade that happened. He's just looked so great for them. He's getting a lot of value. Final map is going to be Junkertown. Is going to be our escort. And MVP, this is your time to clutch. You need to win one map. One map, just one.
And I feel like O2 Blast, even if this is a situation where maybe they'd let off on the gas, because I'd have to go back and look, but I'm like 90% sure that this does not matter for them in the least map-wise. You still want to do your old teammates a solid. In this case, of course, Flora. So why not? Why not finish this out with a strong 4-0, send a statement, and, might be a little bit of pride also. The idea is that we have just sent the team home. Be merciless.
We've heard of so what, but why not? Why not? we have so what and why not? The two dueling battles here. But definitely for O2 Blast, and also WGS would feel very disappointed, I feel, if O2 Blast get the 3-1 when they're so close to the 4-0, and they would have drawn them into playoffs. If MVP wins his final map now. So MVP going to be on the defense, running the traditional 3-3. No Ana, just the Zen for Finn. O2 Blast on the offense.
Alrighty, well, final opportunity here for MVP, and one way to make this more winnable, have a good defense here in point A. Don't get rolled over.
Look at this concert that's happening for O2 Blast right now. He's got the full DJ setup. So it's a jam there.
They're spamming voice lines. MVP's just weighing, why didn't we get invites to the concert? We're gonna beat you up as soon as you head out of these spawn.
Well, O2 Blast says you have to make playoffs to make the concert.
Ouch. A little bit too topical, but very much true. So, O2 Blast out of the doors here. MVP decides not to commit to attacking them directly out of the gates. But now, we gotta rotate around and say, actually, we gotta go for it. Let's move on in. So what? Being a bit of damage. MVP starting to back it on up. Good back and forth between both sides. And MVP, doing an okay job of delaying here thus far.
MVP just being aggressive. I really do like these aggressive holds for defenses where they try to fight them as early as possible. I think they could have held the corner there still, but retreat to the high ground, getting ready to contest here again. See Mandu hiding there, getting the boop. Not really going to get much from it, just pushing somewhat back. As now MVP contests the card here again.
O2 keeping up the pressure. Both teams still pretty even. Kaiser eating quite a bit of damage. And Froppy gets picked. Froppy was looking for the displacement. It just got shut down proper, taking him on down. And O2 sees the opportunity, diving on in. That's a risk every Lucio takes in that situation. And guys, we are going to go to break real quick because there is a technical difficulty. Hang on. And we're back. Sorry about that little bit of technical mishap, but all you missed there was O2 Blast getting on through, winning the last team fight here on point B, and MVP now in a really big bind.
MVP, I mean, they're going to have to recontest. They have the bomb to split, but and they have really no other ults on the board other than So What that's coming up and Finn as well. I think MVP are going to want to commit. They're going to look to use the bomb to get the split, maybe put a lot of focus fire on a Kaiser. They need more shield presence. They need a lot more shield presence right now.
Bomb gonna be taking down Kaiser. It's actually exactly what MVP needed. They came in pretty low on ults. They managed to isolate Kaiser enough to take him on out. And O2 Blast, they have to relent. They're not gonna be setting quite the speed run here, but MVP still in a bit of a tough spot.
MVP getting the exact value, they needed the bomb, but a very big misplay from Kaiser, who charges in, trying to get out and gets stopped and dies to the bomb, had his back towards it. As O2 Blast, they've regrouped, they're coming back in to contest the card here once again. MVP gonna look for the grab.
Grab time gonna be used here. Early O2 stuck inside. Kaiser gets a beat, moves forward. Earth Shatter up, looking for the opportunity. MVP investing just about everything. Shatter gonna be dropped a little bit later on, and not gonna catch too much from MVP. MVP shrugging it off. Graviton though in on the other side for O2 Blast is gonna pull in 3, and that's gonna be the fight clincher that they needed.
And even without the value from the Shatter for Kaiser there, who was trying to catch the wall riding Froppy, the grab from Proper was just too strong. Catches 3, they had forced the Transcendence earlier from Finn. That's going to be the second cap as they move into last. Trying to get some early poke damage, maybe even frag if possible. Aren't going to be able to catch that. O2 Blast holding this high ground right now.
So O2 still setting a pretty quick time here on Junkertown. Remember, at stake for MVP is playoffs. And, you know, one way of making that a little bit easier is holding back the offense here in Junkertown, which thus far has not been the case.
See MVP making the cross here on the high ground, forcing O2 Blast down. Gonna be ahead in that grab war right now. Should know that there are no supports just yet. There's the grab.
Graviton in, bomb out from O2 Blast, catches Valentine. And MVP continuing to bleed, continuing to get picked off. Krong able to go to the top and find Finn as O2 Blast continues this relentless assault.
Krong being a huge playmaker there, using the bomb defensively to stop the follow-up for MVP. Froppy drops the beat, trying to, you know, keep his team alive, but they still lose Valentine. And he gets the frag, the chase frag there on Finn. Krong being a huge player there. MVP now gonna have to recontest here again. Have the bomb, have the Transcendence, but Proper's gonna be looking for that grab.
Proper's grabs have been pretty good here thus far. Been a pretty starving D.Va game on both sides, and gonna be much the same here. Graviton invested, MVP losing Brigitte off it immediately. Valentine down. O2 making the most. Now they're gonna use beat. They have 2 support ults. They end up layering them to a degree, but still totally fine for O2. MVP, they have to drop the grab later on in the last moment desperation, but it's not gonna amount to anything. O2 Blast able to shrug it on off, and this is gonna be a very, very quick time here in Junkertown.
Extremely quick time for Junkertown. Now it's just clean up for O2. They're holding the point. They're gonna have bomb. They're gonna drop it on the cart to deny the presence. Jasper down, who was up on that stall for Hammond. And this is very, very fast, CP. I think the 4-0 might very well happen. I think we could see WGS making playoffs.
I think it's more likely than not at this point, where you take a look at O2 Blast, have been playing better all series long. MVP is going to have to suffer basically the, you know, enhanced pub effect of a competitive level to have a last moment surge, you know, with their playoff hopes on the line if they want to bring this back. And, you know, now I think about it here, you know, unless my memory's fading me, has this been a rare, just completely starving D.Va game? Have we seen any grab eats this entire series?
No, we have not seen any grab eats. Absolutely none so far.
There's a famine going on right now if you're a D.Va player
very much
in the
a famine.
series, which, you know, is really a testament on both sides. I'd say testament to the Zarya players for having good judgment, but to a degree, I guess hasn't been the best game for either D.Va in finding grabs.
Yeah, I don't think either team has really had much success there. And when we look at that last fight too, just to look, it was such a great engage from O2 and the grab from Proper there too, where Mandu gets the boop of a Sowat on the high ground, forces them to isolate and the rest of MVP to rotate to help him, and then Proper just grabs him as the rotation happens as they're trying to get to Sowat. And Mandu, I think, has been has definitely so far in my eyes outperformed Froppy on the Lucio role. He's been having some impactful beats, had some great boops overall. MVP, there's still hope. There is still hope. They're not out of the playoffs just yet. This scrappy band. But they must win the map.
They're not done yet, but they have to finish out the map, ideally with a little bit of time remaining. I mean, sure, it's Escort. You can have crazy overtime pushes, but having a 2-minute time difference, which would end up becoming a 3-minute time difference if they did in overtime, wouldn't be great, to say the least.
Look at this composition, ZP. Finn actually making the swap onto Widow. I thought it was going to be going Xin, but the Widow going to be out. It is going to be this quad DPS strategy with Froppy on the solo heal.
I don't know if this is what you want to bet your entire season on for MVP, but I suppose when the standard hasn't been working, they're going to change things up in a final attempt. We'll see if that's enough. 3:19 on the clock here for MVP.
So what's on Junkrat? This is
all right.
Hit the DPS with solo heal.
It's interesting. They do lose Finn. It's quite a way to go out if you are going to potentially go out here for MVP. And right now, the Penta DPS is not actually working too well. They're just getting picked off one by one as Kaiser just swings his hammer to Froppy.
Well. I can't tell if we're seeing a mental boom or if we're seeing a legit strategy. I think we have seen a similar strategy before, have we not?
We have. I don't think that was mental boom, but I also don't think that was the right approach for MVP, who have generally not been a DPS-heavy team. I think it's kind of silly to think that's going to work when your season's on the line and you must win this map.
They have made full swaps now, but they've lost all their ult charge for most of the heroes. Rookie, the only one that's going to be staying. But Krong's actually outbuilt him on the counter Sombra.
Oh, Rookie.
Rookie's
there. You said you're wondering if we're seeing mental boom. Actually, some of these early pickoffs, I think we're seeing a bit of a boom here. I think MVP realizes the fate that is about to hit them, and you either rise to the challenge or you cower, and MVP right now might be choosing the cower option.
Really unfortunate because I don't think that's the play, because they literally just need one map, CP. Just one map. That's all they need. This should be the time more than ever that you're trying to pull out all the stops. MVP now moving to the cart. They do have the EMP up, but so does Krong. He's chased them here on the flank. He doesn't want to overcommit. In fact, looks like he's trying to counter Rookie. He's trying to keep track of Rookie here.
O2 decide to move on in. They speed boost over. Kaiser ends up falling. So does So What. Both Reinhardts off the cliff. Maybe a 5-on-5. O2 still working with a bit more in terms of resources, but in a battle of EMPs, really one good EMP from Rookie could silence that in full. Still winnable for MVP, but they're running out of time. So right now, I believe we are on audio only right now. The feed has cut. Myongbong able to take down Finn. And O2 Blast, they might have a first point hold here, Avast.
They will, but also we will need to go break real quick because we are having some technical issues, so we'll be right back.
Super quick, guys. 1 minute left. Okay. All right, we've decided actually while we're waiting for the feed, we're just going to radio broadcast it. We're going to continue on. The feed is actually back, so we are back in full. That was the break. Just kidding. Final 40 seconds here, though, for MVP season on the line.
Wait, the Sombras, they're scouting each other, ZP.
They saw each other.
They weren't able to do anything.
Two ships passing the night. Rookie setting up to the back right now. Kaiser used the shatter. Didn't get too much from it. In fact, in a really rough spot here. Kaiser about to fall. Man advantage here, the MVP. They still have an EMP in reserve. So does Krong. Krong under a bit of pressure. Final 15 seconds here for MVP. We're going to see the Graviton move in. It's a good one for O2 Blast. It's up by Krong. Proper and Krong connecting. MVP. Their season coming to an end here and now. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. The slide is complete. Myongbong.
Full team emote on cart. Take the picture.
Myongbong can look to old WGS staff and teammate and say, we did it. We got you in. MVP is out.
And we talked about this earlier, this Ana Sombra setup, and we saw from O2 Blast here, and it's so effective there. That last fight was set up because the EMP goes out, the anti's out, even with Finn's Transcendency can't keep the rest of his team alive. Then we drop the Kodak Perfect, the photo finish there. Well done from O2 Blast, getting the 4-0. Unfortunate for MVP. They couldn't pick up a single map, could not secure their playoffs, and WGS now, by proxy of their own teammates, are in playoffs due to that 4-0.
I have to feel like, of all the ways to not make playoffs, what MVP just experienced has to be the most painful. To where you are, in most cases, pretty much assured you only need one map and you get nothing in the end. That's not a, well, we were out of it to begin with, all right. That was, they had a very good chance of making playoffs, using the break to retool. It doesn't happen. O2 ends them here. WGS going to be making it. So, you know, O2 Blast, no mercy in this situation. Of course, they have their own seeding to worry about too, I suppose. But rough time for MVP, who looks so strong early in the season.
Very rough times for them. And it's weird. It's also interesting because